Metal Jesus here, and I am back again with Reggie.
And we're gonna finish up with the Repro vid. I'm sorry it took so long, but I bought an extra for you guys, so let's get started.
All right, dude, so what do you have for me today?
I got one of the best games in the world here. Our buddy Joe Witter.
Yes.
We like to call him Crazy Joe, but his game is called Hothead Joe.
Yes.
Now, I can't really remember what this is a re-imaging of a game. Our good friend of ours, John Riggs, also saw Joe and thought he looked like this game. Covered it.
And John is the guy who hacked the game that for me, the Metal Jesus World Tour.
Exactly.
And also the one for Barnacles, and that's kind of his gig.
Exactly. So he saw Joe and he said, hey, this looks like Joe. I'm going to make this game for him. So now Joe's got his own game. He changed a couple of graphics in the game, you know, for the game to say Hothead Joe. And he changed one of the enemies in the game to be flipping Joe off, which is really funny. So it's hilarious. And it does look like Joe. So
dude, Joe is such an awesome part of the local community. So he has to have his own game.
Exactly. Hey, so next game is Mega Man Ultra.
Man Ultra, which is an awesome blue card here.
Yeah. This was made by Jared. He's pretty much the wizard of making repros, or Wizard Reproductions.
So this is a reproduction.
It is a reproduction. Okay. Well, it's actually a hack.
Oh, is it?
Hack,
okay.
But it's a cool hack. So basically, it has a level in the game where it's a hack of Mega Man 2, but it's there's a level in the game where you go to Woodman stage, and it's Super Mario Brothers 1 level. You fight Goombas and the freaking, and the Koopas. It's really insane. Cool. So I like that a lot.
Also, too, on the back of this one, I noticed that this also, like the attention to detail is this awesome label on the front and back. I mean,
exactly.
Looks amazing. So
he did a really good job. I'm really happy he hooked me up with that. Next game is called Rockman Board. Now, Rockman Board is Mega Man Monopoly. Now, if you could believe that, it's pretty intense. Like, I had no idea they made a game like this.
Now, so is this a hack or is this a reproduction?
No, this is a reproduction. It's a real game that came out in Japan only, but it should have came out over here. But it's like Monopoly on Nintendo. Like, who would really want to play that? But it's Mega Man though. So it's pretty awesome. So it has a lot of the old characters from the older games. Really cool game. Lots of fun. I couldn't really play it too much because I didn't know how to do all the rules.
Yeah.
But it has a good mode in it where you had a computer play each other and you could watch from there. So it's really outstanding. Next game. Now, I'm a big fan of beat 'em ups. And this is the beat 'em up of ages. This is like shotguns, crazy moves, grenades, 2-player co-op mode at any time.
Dude, this sounds awesome.
It's brutal. I mean, you get on bikes, you shoot people, beat them down. It's just everything you would want in a beat 'em up game.
So this is a Super Famicom game, right?
Yeah, but I got a reproduction for it for Super Nintendo, so I can just put it in the Super Nintendo. So it did the cover for me and everything.
Wow.
So the label, pretty on point.
Yeah.
The original game cost $200, so that I saved a little bit of money. All right, so the next game is going to be a RECCA for an NES. Now, this is a reproduction of a Famicom game, but this game will beat you up. This is a shooter. And
I played this one.
Yeah,
You let me borrow this game.
Yes, and
This game made me cry.
It's so fast paced. I mean, you can have to pay attention to the screen at all times, or you will get your ass handed to you.
Super impressive though. Like this is a crazy fast game.
It's like pushing the Nintendo to the limits. You can actually see the Nintendo like really working hard. Like, it shows you what it could do. That's pretty awesome. So I like that game a lot.
Yeah, I love shooters, and so I thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna dig into this. And man, I was like, it was tough. It was
cool, tough, you know. Yeah. Next game is for probably a lot of Super Mario enthusiasts. You probably know about this game, but this is Verse Super Mario Brothers. This was only released in the arcades, and it was kind of a myth to me because a lot of people didn't know about it. But it's actually Super Mario Brothers 1 remixed into a little bit harder. Actually, like pits are longer. Some levels are different, and also what's cool about this one, it has a save system, so you can actually save your name on the cart and everything, like a high score system. So that's pretty cool. So if you're really into Mario Brothers, this is the one to get. Awesome game. You could change the settings for the game in the beginning, so you could change the continues free play because it's pretty much emulated from the arcade game. So
wow, that's pretty cool.
Pretty on point, yeah. Next game is a game I love, and everybody will love too. The Firemen. Now, the Firemen came out in Japan and it came out in PAL territories, but we never got one over here. I got a reproduction of it because that's the first version I heard of the game. This game is like an arcade type game. Like you just go out, put out fires, you get information, you got your buddy backing you up, he's got the axe cutting through stuff, to help you out.
Yeah.
It's just it's just so much fun. Like it's very entertaining all the way through. Like I had my buddy came over Ty and played it, and he was like just got through the first level immediately. Like he was just that he loved it that much.
I've heard of this. You hear about this game a lot when people are talking about sort of like hidden gems and things like that. Okay, because who would expect a game about firemen? I mean, no offense to firemen, but it's like how many games are there based on firemen?
Yeah,
very few, right?
Exactly.
So, now this says PAL version right here. So is this?
That was the only label that I could print out for.
I got you. I
just printed it so it looked nice because I have custom cases.
Dude, it is really nice too. Wow, that's an awesome cover.
I love it. All right, the next game is I thought I would like this game a lot more, but this is a sequel to Milton's Secret Castle for NES. It's called DoReMe, and it's a platform game, but I couldn't really get into it that much. I think because of, like in platform games, I like the music to be really strong. Not saying that it wasn't, but I just got killed a lot. Maybe I was just really tired when I was playing it. But basically, you collect notes. It's basically just pretty much a platform game, which is really cool. I love platformers.
It looks really colorful.
Yeah, it is, and it's not like the
because ponies.
Yeah. And thankfully, it's not like the one for NES, which had a lot. It was pretty hard to get into, but really cool game. I like it.
Hudson Soft, huh? Cool.
All right, so
and then you brought something different too.
A little bit different this time. Dreamcast reproduction. I'm going to start off with a Rainbow Cotton. Now, Rainbow Cotton came out in Japan, but we didn't get it over here, and it's kind of expensive. So I had someone make me a reproduction of it, which I guess you call it a reproduction or a bootleg, which a lot of people like to call CDs.
Sure.
But he made a label for it, and a label for the CD. It looks really nice. He made an insert for the case and everything, so it looks really good. Only thing, of course, it doesn't have a manual, which is fine with me. I don't read manuals anymore. I mean, that much anymore anyway.
But you could, though. I mean, you could potentially make one, yeah.
Yeah, you could make one if you really wanted one. The game is pretty much like a Space Harrier, like you're shooting and everything. Well, the view is from Space Harrier, but it's really slow, like compared to Space Harrier. Space Harrier is fast. This one's more slow, like you get to shoot more things, see what you're shooting at. Good. It's a solid game, but not a lot of people like it that much because compared to the other Cotton games, it's like the black sheep.
So I have a question for you. So can you just pop this into any Dreamcast and play it?
You actually can, because the way they code the CDs now, when they do that, you could put them in any Dreamcast and play them. So no boot disc required.
And that's why I'm asking, because I do have a couple bootlegs that people have given me, and you always have to start with like another game or something like that. There's like this process that you had to do.
Exactly, yeah. So they gotten pretty much past that now, which is pretty cool. So
awesome.
Next game, one of my favorites, Twinkle Star Sprites. This game is actually in English too, so it only came out in Japan, but it's basically like a shooter, but it's a versus shooter. Like there's two screens, you're shooting the enemies on your screen. If you mess up, then your enemy has the advantage, and more stuff comes on your screen that you have to shoot and try to dodge. So you're battling it out till one of you guys loses. So pretty cool. I mean,
dude, this reminds me. So this will tell you how non-rehearsed this is. Do you remember the first time I met you working at D-Pad?
Yeah.
The very first day you were trying to sell me on this game. Like you've been loving this game forever.
Dude, that's right.
I was having flashbacks right there, like, we were standing in D-Pad and you were telling me about this game, and I'm like, Twinkle Sprites? I was looking at you like, what?
You know why? Because I just bought the Saturn version, which is the defined version of it. Yeah, dude, gosh, memories, man.
That's so cool. So it comes full circle.
Yeah, it really does, man. Are you going to get one yet?
Of this?
Yeah.
Or the Saturn version? Because actually, you know what? See, that's the thing, is that I've learned, so I didn't know you very well back then. I'm like, I don't know, it sounds like kind of like a kid's game. I wasn't. Now I know to trust you. Yep. So pretty much, I'd love to own it. That's awesome.
All right, so the next games, the last two games here are the extras I brought for the surprise.
So we have to build this up. So you were basically sending me messages on Facebook going, dude, for the next video, I've got something really special. I'm like, okay, cool. You're like, no.
Yep.
You don't understand.
Exactly. I remember I sent you the pictures, and you're like, oh my God.
So what do we got here?
We're going to start with the extra I brought, not the real surprise yet, but this extra is a long cart that I had custom made by my buddy Eric Bishop.
Wow, that's crazy.
Now, Eric from Bishop Rose, he made a lot of games that we reviewed on the channel.
And your game.
And my game, too. Yeah. Esper Dreams Part 2. Now, Now, this game came out in Japan on the Famicom system, but I talked to Eric and I said, can you make a cart of it for NES? And he said, yeah, I can, but it wouldn't fit though. So I said, is there any way you can make it fit? He's like, nah. So he decided to try to make something that fit. So he cut a game in half and put it together. Like he just...
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, he did a really good job on it. And you know what's crazy about it? He said he threw a couple of them out, and I saw the ones he threw out, and they looked great too, but he's a perfectionist, so, you know.
Wow, so this is really cool. Okay, so what you're saying essentially is that in order to get this to work on an NES, Well, it works on a top loader easy, but if you're going to put it in a toaster NES, I don't know how it works because the cart sticks out. Sure, but what I'm saying is that in order for him to build it, he couldn't build it in a standard size.
Because the parts are too big, so.
Wow, that's amazing.
And the game is pretty much like, it's like a game where it's like I would say it's an action RPG, but you go into into books and stuff because you're in a library and you go and try to save certain worlds and stuff. So they have different like kind of events. Like so one event is like a train's being attacked, so you go and help the people there or whatever. Or one, it's a lot of different stories you could hop into. Really cool game. I'm very impressed with it. I haven't played it that much because a lot of schoolwork going on, but I will soon. Wow,
talk about one of a kind. It's so cool.
Yeah, he really did a good job making that. So here is the real big surprise here.
Okay, so when you first told me about this, so it's Final Fantasy VII.
Yep.
On the NES. So my first question was, how the hell did they do this? Well, first of all, Final Fantasy VII, as everyone knows, was the definitive game that came out on the PlayStation 1. It was like full motion video, it was 3D graphics, it was amazing, right? And a lot of people were blown away by it. So what is this version here?
This is basically an 8-bit version of I guess they used the engine for Final Fantasy 1 or the ones that were on Nintendo, and they actually recreated it and made it Final Fantasy 7.
Made it classic.
But they used a new board and everything for it. I don't know all the schematics of it, but it was just really, you had to have a whole new board to make this game, and
that label is crazy. Like, it looks real.
Exactly, so 8-bit Final Fantasy 7. Final Fantasy 7 is my favorite of the series. It's not the best of the series, but it's my favorite. So just to have that on an NES card is just really cool. I'm really impressed with it. Eric did a good job painting it, and the label is perfect.
I mean, the black is cool because it matches the color of the background, and also the font is black. It just, dude, this is really cool. So, I mean, can people buy this, or where can they get it?
Well, they can actually get it from Bishop Bros. He's going to make some available soon. I don't know how many, but he told me they will be available. So we'll keep you guys posted and let you know in a link, where you can talk to him at.
Well, dude, thanks very much for bringing all these over. I mean, all 3 videos have been just full of amazing games I've never seen before, man.
That's right, man.
So awesome. So if you haven't seen those videos, I will post them down below in the description. And we'd also love to know down in the comments what you guys think, and what do you think about Final Fantasy VII? I think there should be a Final Fantasy 8 and 9 made as well.
Maybe 8 didn't age as well as the other ones, but
that's true. But the thing is, though, is that I love each one for different reasons. So it'd be cool to have them do that.
It really would.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks very much for watching my channel and subscribing. Take care. We have shown a bunch of games in these last 3 videos, and many of them have come from a site called bishopbrothers.com. Definitely check it out if you're interested in these kind of homebrews and hacks. In addition to Reggie's game, he also released a poster that's pretty rad, so definitely hit them up if you like this kind of stuff. Also, this video was seen early by my Patreon contributors. They actually see every video early, which is pretty handy if you're into collecting and you want to know what rocks. If you are interested in supporting my channel and videos, go to patreon.com/MetalJesusRocks. Thanks for watching.